Hey, what's up GFam, and welcome to the behind the scene of the MG FAZZ. I'll be doing these kind of behind the scene videos for every custom build that I do because I truly felt that there's a lot of questions to be answered and there's a lot more information that is not into the custom build video. If you haven't watched the custom build video for MG FAZZ, click right here. I could never figure out where's the thing, but yeah, it's there. Click it. Let's get started. First thing first, the MG FAZZ is a really big boy, especially hard to tackle this build within 17 days. But I'm grateful that I have 17 days to work with this thing, to come up with the concept, do the ASMR, the color scheme, the details, and stuff like that, so on. And first I would like to talk about is the ASMR part. During the ASMR part, I had a lot of trouble because my table itself, the background, the paper background for my table is not really optimized. It's not really a good quality paper. It gets wrinkly over time, just doesn't look that good and doesn't produce that nice of a sound. Luckily, I have a black cardboard around that I can really use at that time to replace the black paper background. Well, another problem is that the size of the MG FAZZ is so big. When I first unboxed it, I got really stressed. So I took a break. I took a shower. Like my dad said, when you're stressed out, please go and take a shower and you'll come up with a solution. And somehow I came back and I placed all the runners on the floor. I organized them alphabetically from A to V. And then from there, I come up with the game plan of putting up bigger labels. That's the first thing. So it's easier and more efficient for me to find the runners. And then secondly, figuring out how to place the runners beside me so that I can have access to them like really fast. And from there, I finish up the ASMR part. The ASMR part took around 5 days to finish, and for my photography, videography setup, it's really simple. I have a simple black cloth that I attach to a canvas, like an oil painting canvas, and then stretch them out really flat and taping them at the back so that I can have that really smooth background. Secondly is I have a key light, and then I have a ring light shine onto my subject, which is the MG FAZZ. And on the camera department, I do have a macro lens to go alongside with my Canon 80D so that I can really capture the details. So on my videos, you guys can notice that I really zoom in into the parts, really zoom in into the paint job, and really zoom in into the details of my builds. Because first thing first, I'm not afraid to show my flaws. At the end of the day, all these custom videos, it has to be real. It speaks realism, and this is what I want to show you guys. Yeah, I can get away with having wide angle lenses and normal zoom lenses, but I really don't want to do that because it doesn't really show much of craftsmanship. So right after the photo shoot, right after the video shoot, I would release my wallpapers onto my website, which you guys can find here at www.studiog.yt, and then it's time to start customizing. So being that right now it's a lockdown period for almost every country in the world, and then to be honest, I really don't have much resources around. I don't even own a plat plate, to be honest. And so the only thing I can work with are the runners, which comes in a bundle, to be honest, with the MG FAZZ. There's a lot of runners to work with. So from the runners, I chose the correct size of runner because they do come in smaller size, medium, and the large. And then I just chose up the correct part, cut them up to the correct length, split them into half, and then have some lines onto it to indicate that this is a pipe. You know, it's something like a pipe carrying some fluid, blah, something like that. And then just glue them on into the places that I want them to be. And another problem that I was facing with this MG FAZZ is that I really don't have a nice scriber, I would say, because the scriber that I had previously, it was a cheap one. After several builds, started to go dull, it's blunt, and then the tip broken off, so I really don't have something nice to scribe with. I picked up this skill from Jazz, which is my boy. We co-host the GUNPLA talk show together. He told me that he met this veteran who uses pin vise and a needle to come up with his own homemade scriber. From there, I kind of experimented myself. I actually went through 3 needles instead of 1 to get the correct consistency, the correct angle and stuff like that for the pin vise. I'm still experimenting, I'm still polishing up the skills needed to make your own Scriber at home. So be sure to expect a tutorial coming up in the future talking about how to make your own homemade Scriber. So now Scriber is done, runners is done, what's next? Paint job. Paint job and the color scheme, to be honest, is probably the hardest part for any of the custom builds, because if your paint job is off, the whole thing will be ruined as well. So paint job and color scheme. For the MG FAZZ, I really want to go industrialized stuff. So it's going to be white with a touch of gray and with the color accent of orange, industrial orange. There are areas that I would like to improve on my paint job, especially on the top coat part. So I want to remove the orangey, the orange peel kind of surface on paints. So I tried out different kind of air pressure on my compressor, different kind of settings for my airbrush on how far should I pull, how far should I let the paint out. Ultimately, the thinners. Should I thin them down or should I not thin them down even more? Because the paint that I've been using, they are from Zerk and then they are pre-thinned paint. So previously, even when they are pre-thinned, I purposely thin them down further by adding 3 parts more of thinner so that I can have more paint. To be exact, I was trying to cheap out on my paint, and that has backfired on my paint job. Because by thinning down your paint even more, you are actually required to do multiple passes, even more passes, to get the correct color, to get the color to shine, to get the color to pop up even more. It's fine to thin out some colors when they are not pre-thinned, but basically if paints are pre-thinned, then you maybe need to be cautious with them so that you don't thin them too much and then nothing comes out, no color comes out, which will end up in a bad paint job. So for top coat, previously I really don't like to use semi-gloss or flat kind of top coat because I myself has experienced frosting on my semi-gloss as well as my flat top coat. So that is the realm that I wouldn't dare to go into. But this time I took extra precautions, and one trick that I learned is to keep your station warm. So to do that, I choose to paint my top coats, which is my semi-gloss top coat, in the afternoon, like when the sun is heating up. So I open up the windows, I make sure that the house is nice and warm, and then only I start painting. So during the experimental part, I tried out how to paint with different PSI, with different airbrush settings. I tried out different kind of top coat thinners, the thinner ratio, and the surrounding temperature when you are painting. So all that has really worked out really well for me on this MG FAZZ, and I am going to continue improving my paint job. So last but not least is the masking part. So the masking part itself is not really that hard this time because essentially there's not much parts to be masked off. But one thing that I learned and one thing that you guys should pay attention to is masking tapes can be brutal, as in like when it's fresh out of the tape roll. So one trick is to make them less sticky. You can stick them onto your clothes first before applying them onto your parts, or you can stick them onto the table. You can stick them using your fingers, make them unsticky, not so sticky. All this is because when you're pulling out the masking tape from your parts, you don't want to pull out paint as well. So this is how you prevent that from happening. And then it comes to water decals and panel lining. This is a mistake that I made. I actually never thought of weathering until the end, so I didn't apply decals first. So I will be sure to apply decals and then only do weathering after that so that the decals and the weathering can blend seamlessly. Lesson learned, mistake learned, and this is how you grow yourself as a builder. I started in January 2020, which is 3 to 4 months ago, the MG FAZZ. That is my proudest work, I would say. The most perfect work, I would say, but weathering itself still needs work. Applying decal itself still needs work. So these are the parts that I would look to improve. Well, I believe with enough YouTube tutorial videos, as well as enough dedication and time put into everything that you do, you will always come out successful. Well, that's it for the behind the scene video of the MG FAZZ. I'll be doing this kind of video alongside with my custom build videos every single time. So please subscribe and hit that bell notification button beside to get notified every time I post a video. Also, don't forget to like and share with your friends if you like this video, and then don't forget to share your thoughts with me in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.